The latest news, national issues, the political scene, and conversations from prominent personalities. All these firsthand at the forefront. Good morning. On behalf of Attorney Karen Jimeno, this is Ferdy Salvador. Technology is now reshaping political campaigns as artificial intelligence is now being used to deliver key messages to the voters. Today, we're fortunate to have two creative powerhouses to talk about how they have embraced AI in their crafts. From crafting impactful political jingles to revolutionizing campaign messaging, they will share their experiences, challenges, and insights on this digital transformation. How is AI changing the game of political persuasion? Joining us this morning are recognized industry stalwarts, the CEO of Creative Voices Production, founder of Certified Voice Artist of the Philippines, the VoiceMaster himself, Pocholo de Leon Gonzalez. Good morning, Pocholo. Next, we have the music lead and managing partner of Wonder Collab Studios, Khalil Refuerzo. Good morning, Khalil. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me this morning. I know it's early, but
good morning.
Okay.
Great day, Sir Ferdy.
Yes, let's get down to it. So, how did you both start in your industry?
Oh,
Yes.
okay. So I actually
Khalil.
work in the audio production industry of the advertising industry. So audio productions in the advertising industry. So I started in 1998, and since then I was a jingle maker and a soundtrack producer and a music scorer. So,
Any noteworthy ones that I can recognize?
Oh, okay.
I'm sure you're younger than me, so I'm probably going to recognize a lot of them.
Well, siguro the most popular jingle that's non-political is probably Makulay ang Buhay by Nor. So it was done in 2007, and there's also the My Chocolate Buddy of Chucky. So those are a couple of maybe the most popular.
And I like that I actually recognize both. That's two different generations altogether. Sir, what about the political ones?
Well, maybe the most popular is Manny Villar's Nakaligo Ka Na Ba Sa Dagat ng Basura. So that was done in 2010.
Sample?
Nakaligo ka na ba sa dagat ng basura? Yeah, so
nice.
Yeah,
that was effective. I'm sure it was.
Well, yeah, I think so.
Did you have to immerse yourself
in the dagat ng basura? No, thankfully, no.
Sir Pocholo, how did you start?
I started when I was 16 years old. So I won a voice acting competition in one of the biggest radio stations.
Yes.
So, and I also become one of the youngest dubbing director at age 18 for ABS. And
wow, two years after at the other station.
And also did like thousands of commercials also.
Wow.
I also work with Sir Khalil.
So you guys have known each other for a while. Okay,
sound
fantastic.
engineer.
At least we're amongst friends conversing this morning. And any noteworthy ones?
One of
non-political and political.
One of the most famous anime also is Kuro-chan. Like, I did this voice na,
Hoy, kumanda ka sa akin. Ako nga pala, Cyber Kuro-chan. Tungpay sa inyo. Ha, ja.
and Bubu Chacha.
Magandang araw sa inyo. Ako nga pala si Chacha.
And
You just took me to another dimension right there. I was not prepared for that.
I also did Meet Your Garden, Father of Sunshine, yung, magandang araw sa'yo. Kamukha mo si Daming, sir. Mukha kang pinya.
You have just morphed right in front of my eyes to an older Korean person.
And
Did you feel the same way?
Yeah.
And also, the most famous is Bibo Hotdog. I did the voice of the puppet. The
Pabe, Bibo. Bagong Bibo.
Oh, anong sikreto ng bagong bibo?
Tikman mo.
Paano? Papit ako eh.
Nga.
So I did those voices.
You know what I want to do without being rude, but I want to crack open your heads to see what's going on in there because, this is hyper creative.
Yeah.
It's a different level of creativity. I mean, changing voices is not only a talent,
Yes,
but
that's true.
I think it's a sign of genius, in fact, right? Yes, but about yung political campaign mo, Sir Pocholo?
I used to be the voice and speech coach of Vice President Binay.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so
Are you gonna
during
copy
the
his
election,
voice, or are you gonna give
no,
me a
I am
campaign?
teaching him how to speak well.
Oh,
I
okay.
also did some commercials like, kay Binay, sasaya ang buhay. Yeah.
Malamig.
Mm.
Malamig siya.
Something like that.
Since you're talking about this, I want to delve into DZMM's Rado Rado contest. How did you change your career at age 16?
Yes, I was just first year college during that time in UP Diliman. So I'm taking up theater arts, speech communication, and creative writing at the same time.
At 16?
At 16, yes, sir.
Okay.
So I finished at 19. So I also took up my master's degree in broadcasting. But during that time, I have this principle that why should I wait to graduate if I can do my dream now? So my dream is to become a reporter, a broadcaster, not a voice talent. But I've seen myself behind the mic. So I used to be a reporter before and a broadcaster, but I decided to focus on voice acting.
Naku, I feel like I'm going to be judged this morning because I've got a distinct voice. You don't know whether it's raspy or burnt. So
It's okay.
I have a question for you. A little bird told me that you've got a talent for doing things on the spot.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So
I'm gonna I'm going to challenge you. Okay, so pretend I'm running for office and I want to run for senator, right? And of course, I'm all for the poor. Can you come up with a campaign for me? It's
Yeah.
gonna be super interesting.
That's how AI will help us.
Okay.
So through ChatGPT, we can create a campaign jingle for you. Like, for example, I'm going to give ChatGPT a prompt asking him to write a campaign jingle for Ferdy Salvador running for senator, and this is his platform.
Okay,
So now I just finish it.
Khalil, I want to hear this. Okay.
So you want to hear?
Yes, I don't know if the mic will pick it up, but perhaps put it
Okay.
closer to you.
Sa Senado, may bagong pag-asa. Si Ferdy Salvador kasama ng masa. Serbisyong
This is K-pop.
totoo,
Yes.
walang iniwan. Dapat sa bayan, hindi lang pangakuan. Edukasyon, trabaho,
Wow,
kalusugan.
that's simply amazing. I'm gonna ask for that clip from you later.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll sign a waiver. I'm not running for
yes,
any
okay.
position at the moment. Yes.
Yeah.
Sir Khalil.
Yes.
What about you? I want to
Um,
hear. He's got that instant. I
Yeah.
heard that you might do too.
Well, actually, on the contrary,
Yes.
I would be a little bit on the contrary on this.
Okay.
The thing that we can do as jingle makers, as actual human copywriters and jingle makers,
Okay.
is to really point this towards your audience and to add that kind of human element to it.
Okay.
So, for example, just as we heard, it is a beautiful piece of music, but is it pointed towards the market that you want to address? For example, there are countless jingles for national or like Senate currently, and not for anything else, but budots is actually still very Filipino. It's very masa, and it's probably
It's stuck.
it's stuck. Yes,
It's become cultural rather than
That's right.
campaign wise.
yes, it is cultural, and it hits the Filipino right where it needs to hit the
Yes,
Filipino.
yes.
So and also in terms of copywriting, well, I would say copywriting in the sense of how the advertising agencies actually write the copy for these candidates for their candidates. It's really about them, and you feel that you know the candidate because there's a human element to it.
Yes. I'm just curious. Were you part of that campaign, for the Budots campaign?
Oh no. The one with with Senator Revilla before. So no, but we've been asked to produce a couple of budots kind of music. Budots accompaniment to a jingle to certain candidates.
Don't worry, Khalil. I'm not gonna ask you to dance. So let's go back to you. But what about how did you become a music composer and producer?
Well, music has always been in my bloodline. I'm a son of a choir conductor in
Okay.
church, and I
Okay.
grew up in a church environment where I was a musician, and I am still part of a church ministry as well. And because of that, I got mentored by a couple of veteran composers. And then eventually in '98, I started in a small boutique audio production house in advertising, and that's where I.
Any would you like to enumerate some veteran composers?
Oh, Arnold Depano, the composer of Lead Me Lord, is my ultimate teacher, mentor.
Mentor,
So
yeah.
there's also a couple of people like Junji Marcelo, Doji Simon from the OPM, and the late Jerdy Francisco she's a composer, and she was a composer. She passed away a few years back. She was my mentor naman in audio productions as a jingle maker.
Sir Pocholo,
Yes.
kailan ka tinawag or binansagan the voice master?
Actually, it's the media that gives me that brand. Because I'm a voice teacher, voice acting guru. So I have my voice acting school called Certified Voice Artist
Yes.
program. But before that, before the pandemic, I have this program called VoiceWorks Basic Voice Acting and Dubbing Workshop, which almost 60 to 80% of dubbers in the Philippines started from my school since 2005. So I can claim that most of them started from my school. Now they are voice acting directors, dubbers from different recording studios.
And how did you feel when they branded you as a voice master?
It's usual. I don't know.
Was it
I mean,
pressure?
not really, because until now I'm still teaching voice acting. I have an online voice acting school.
Nice. Well, and of course, Khalil, you also you put up Wonder Collab Studios.
Yes.
What's this all about?
Well, it's also a audio production house. We do commercial jingles and music scores and soundtracks, also for movies and for streaming series as well.
No political.
And also political jingles and other.
Yes, this must be your Christmas season, basically, with campaigns.
Yeah, once every 3 years. Yes.
Yes, but how far back do your clients ask for your services? Is it a year before the campaign to prepare, 2 years, or even before the next election?
A couple of months, maybe. Some for about a year before.
Okay.
But most of them just a few months before the. Well, actually, you would know, and that our viewers would also know that sometimes there is like a pre-campaign kind of, nagpaparamdam kind of period for any candidate. So kahit na 6 months before, meron na rin kami pinoproduce for them.
Any good stories to tell us? I mean, do they choose their own music? With your experience?
Since 1996, I'm also doing campaign jingles. So
Okay.
I'm the one writing the lyrics for the campaign.
Just like for my campaign.
No, and also I play the music. But because of technology, everything changes. No, for me, I don't have any projects for campaign because I'm already giving my my product for my friends, meaning
okay.
it's for free.
Oh, that's
I
quite
don't-
interesting.
Yeah.
Why free for mga politiko nagbibigay ka ng
'Cause
gratis?
I just want them to experience the new technology.
Yes.
So it's not against anyone because I used to do my own music before. I have produced like hundreds of music.
Any pro bono this
But I'm
season?
also a visionary. I always create change, especially in voice acting industry. I am focusing now on dubbing because dubbing cannot be duplicated by AI, the acting side.
Why can it not be duplicated
Because
by AI?
the human emotions cannot be duplicated, but the voice can be changed. Like what
Even
we're
if they don't manipulate the the intonations
there's
and
so-called before it's called text to speech. Now speech to speech. For example, I have a character.
I don't need to change my voice.
So the character becomes that voice, even I'm using my natural voice. So that's the new technology now in dubbing. But yeah,
Is that in your experience as well? I'm sure you're using technology to further your craft.
Well, we use technology to do demos sometimes in terms of, I need, for example, a backup singer to this kind of jingle. I record um, a real human lead singer, and then I record myself in a falsetto, for example, and have AI transform that into a female singer.
Interesting.
So that's there are apps like that as well right now.
And of
So,
course, this is not a secret. This is an open thing.
Yeah.
Anybody can do it. What
Yes.
makes you both unique with the usage of AI? Aside, of course, from your years of experience, compared to a person, a techie kid that can manipulate AI. I mean, my child can, make me run
That's
for my
right.
money when it comes to technology.
That's
So
right.
how do we? What's your edge or uniqueness versus them?
Years and years of experience and that human touch. It's really what AI cannot actually replicate. So
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
So you know what works, na magiging hit or not
Yes.
on the instant.
Well, we hope sometimes. The thing with commercials and jingles, for example, even if you airtime is important. Even if you craft the catchiest jingle, if it does not have airtime, it won't be known to the masses. So you do have to have.
Okay, that's a great point of view. Okay, like earlier you said, what is your target market? What's your
Yeah.
target audience, rather? So, for example, do you think that simple lyrics or a simple a song would target a certain market, or does it have to be more complicated to the more
Well-
intellectually elite?
Well, it really depends. It really depends. There are jingles right now. There are political jingles right now that are crafted in a nice way that can encompass the masses towards a little bit to the elite. For example, just as we heard earlier from Pocholo, for a K-pop song, that actually is from the masses to the elite. Everyone is a K-pop fan.
Yeah, I became a fan of myself
Yeah,
because
see?
of the song.
Everyone is a K-pop fan,
Yes.
but it really is. You'd notice if it's purely Tagalog, for example. If it's purely Tagalog, it's very masa. If it's a combination of Tagalog and English, it's a little bit, And even there are actually voiceovers, for example, after a jingle, for senator or para senador. So we actually record different voiceovers at the end, and you'd notice if it's for senator, so you know that it's for a different village. So it's para senador. So the simple things and the little nuances like those.
Yeah, that's very, I didn't think about that. Just a simple change
Simple change. Yeah.
of a word retargets your audience.
That's right.
Right. So
That's right.
with this kind of season, how many political clients do you average?
Me more on the voiceover side.
Yes.
Because I'm not really into music now. I focus more on the voice acting, voiceover, and dubbing.
This is a perfect partnership right here.
Actually, I'm the voice behind the voiceover of any political jingle, for example.
Okay.
Yung iboto, si Ferdinand, yan. Salvador, para sa senador. Kami yung nagbo-voice over doon. Kasi hindi siya basta may AI.
Okay, so
Oh.
what happens is they don't contact you directly. They go to the agency like
The
Khalil's.
production house, yes.
Yes, and then that's when you feel the talent.
Yes, that's
Which
right.
then
We record
becomes
the talents as
Ochola.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe I can direct this to you in a campaign season, an election season. How many political clients do you guys average?
Maybe I would say 10.
10?
10
Okay.
political clients.
I would expect more.
It depends on, well, sometimes the political clients, it really depends on how
Here we go.
okay, when I say 10 political clients, these are 10 candidates.
Yes.
And the number of their projects vary. For example, and I will give a historical example, for
Okay.
example. So in 2010, so we worked on Manny Villar's campaign,
Yes.
president for president,
Yes.
Senator Manny Villar's campaign for president, and you could see that there are also he had a senatorial slate, and even in his senatorial slate, those are produced with him there. So nag-multiply by 12 yung projects.
Ang one candidate.
One candidate.
So it's 1 plus 12. So,
Plus 12, no?
So naging 13.
So yun yung 2010.
Okay.
So for ano man, for different candidates, for example, okay, we need a jingle for this, targeted to this kind of people, and then another jingle for this, or this jingle but split into like a full song 3-minuter, but split into 15s targeting like the medical field. No, not the medical field. For example, highlighting the benefits of benepisyo ng medical or benepisyo for the
Magsasaka.
teachers,
Oo.
magsasaka.
Okay.
So nagmo-multiply din yung mga projects or yung mga materials dun sa
So
ano na
then that means to say that 10 is a lot.
Yeah.
Yes. And some other production houses, I believe, can service a lot more than that.
And when did you start working on political campaigns in your career?
Ako since 1996 pa. Because
1996.
I'm also into politics before.
Oh, tell me, were you running?
So, yeah, I used to be part of SK.
Okay.
So, I have so many connections, especially in Bataan. And we are also in a political family. So what happened, bata pa lang ako, exposed na ako sa politika. So alam ko na yung style na ginagawa nila, ano yung gusto ng tao, anong gusto ng mga masa, ng mamamayan. So kayang-kaya kong sumulat. So yung mga tumatakbong mayor sa amin, laging I use my talents and share my talents para lang gumawa ng mga jingles nila. Like yung ninong ko, tito ko, mayor. Ako yung gumagawa since 1996. So,
ano yung first mong political campaign?
for mayor.
For mayor.
Nung bali ninong kong tumakbong mayor.
Gratis.
Lagi naman. So ngayon, I have
Huwag mo
hundreds.
paninigyan.
Actually, I have a lot of projects now. Na I have like hundreds of mayor running. Kasi mga local lang pinafocus ko.
But why not
Wala
charge?
kasi silang budget. I mean, maliliit lang. Unlike national, malaki ang million ang budget niyan. Unlike sa mga local, like barangay or...
Walang budget, ayaw labas ng budget sa difference.
Then, for election, I only do jingles or voiceover for those people na I believe na mga mababait at hindi kurakot at corrupt.
Oh, very good. Kalip?
Well, I started in either 4th year high school or 1st year college.
What's this? Why are you guys starting so young?
Yeah, well, well, to me, it was a nepo thing. So, nepo thing. So my dad was a COO of a conglomerate,
Okay.
and the owner of the conglomerate actually ran for Congress.
Can you mention? No.
Oh yes, Ramon Rey Orosa.
Okay.
So he ran for Congress, and then he needed the jingle, and I was tinkering with my workstation. I was, I knew how to put together music at the time. So that was probably my very, very first political jingle.
Have you ever refused a client,
Yes.
both political and non-political?
Yes.
What reason?
More,
Kalip?
to me, more politicals, I refused. It's really a personal conviction or a personal preference
Okay.
on any candidate. So that there's also a line between, there's a professional part of you and there's a personal conviction part of you. So
Interesting. Pachola?
For me, it's more on principle because I am also a motivational speaker. So I've been traveling around the country and around the world to motivate, especially the young people, to create positive change, to use their voice to help more people. In Certified Voice Artist Program, our principle is our voice is a gift from God, and it's how we use it that's our gift back to God. So we focus more on the promoting voice acting as an art and to use our voice to create positive change.
I respected you the first time I met you, but my respect has now even been elevated.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, when you use new technology, may nawawalan na ba ng trabaho? But before you answer that, at the forefront, we'll be right back after this short break.
bawat anggulo ng bawat issue.
We are back here at the forefront, and I'm still chatting with these wonderful gentlemen, Sir Pochola and Sir Khalil, on what it takes to put together jingles, especially, political jingles. Now, my question to you both. When you use new technology, may nawawala na ba ng trabaho? Has that been the case in your respective companies?
Well, on our end, no. So we really need that human touch.
So
human
have you even
factor.
added
What do you mean?
to your team?
Oh,
Have you started hiring more?
oh
Or?
yes, of course.
Okay,
of course.
great.
And
So-
it's not only our team of composers and sound engineers.
Mhm.
It's also the singers, the voiceover actors, the voiceover talents
Mhm.
that we need to hire.
Mhm.
So these are freelance talents as well. So hindi walang nawawala na trabaho kasi kailangan namin sila. Kailangan namin talaga sila.
Sa bagay, mahirap mag-isip ng jingle, di ba? Paano mo nalalagay sa tech? Sir Pocholo.
In our case, no, especially in dubbing, para sa akin, hindi mawawala ng trabaho. Kundi, it just shields you from the bad talents.
Yes, I'm talking about this kind of intelligence because artificial intelligence because you also have to pivot,
Yes.
diba? Especially in your company because you represent other talents as well.
Yes.
What are your measures to help protect your business and your human resource?
Well, right now the measure really is integrity. Kasi wala we're still figuring it out. So it is still a new technology. In terms of, for example, I use AI, for example, for my DAW. It's called a digital audio workstation, and sometimes you get a beat and then you put it in a part of the digital audio workstation that has AI, and it detects the beat and looks for beats that can complement that certain beat that you have. So there's AI right there, and it makes my job easier, but it doesn't take away from me actually doing the
Correct.
beat in the first place.
You still need a human being to make it work.
Yes, to
Yeah.
make it work, and if it's really bagay for that jingle, it's really bagay for that music.
For me, ano lang naman, it's just comparing typewriter to laptop and iPad.
Yes.
So kung ano yung skill mo doon, typing. But you can do more. For example, right now, I have a channel called the VoiceMaster
Yes.
channel and also Tagadub TV.
Yes.
Before, I can only do like one content a day.
Let's go talk about this app of yours.
Yeah,
but
also-
later on. But please continue.
Yeah. Now I can do 20 contents a day using my AI avatar, AI voice. Because I'm the only Filipino that created the first ever AI voice that acts,
How?
that sounds natural. It's
How?
me. It's all about machine learning because I know how to use artificial intelligence for the last 5 years. So I
Oh.
also work with one of the biggest AI company in the world, AI voice company. So all the local dialects I did. Pwede na mag-Ilocano, Kapampangan, Cebuano,
That
ang
is
AI.
so interesting.
For the first time in history.
And is this
Sabi nila walang puso.
yes?
There is. Because it still came from human. The problem is, ano bang intention mo to do it? Because when you create content, it's unlimited ideas. Eh.
Yeah.
It's your creativity that limits you.
And
Your
so-
intention that limits you.
Yeah. So are you saying that it's helping you edit the good and the bad?
Everything. So it's all about the person behind the technology.
You mentioned to me off cam that you're using this to weed out the
The bad attitude of the people, that money-driven people. Yeah.
why?
Because for the past 30 years of my life, I know the industry. So I know what kind of people are these people. So I rather create my own than to, compete with these people. Because everything is all about competition naman eh.
Sa bagay, but is it tantamount to removing them from their job because
No,
of this?
they can do their job. We're not removing
Elsewhere.
any job. I'm just removing the bad people from my own group. That's all.
These are only voiceover talents, of course.
No, not really voice talents.
What?
Anyone that has bad attitude
Okay.
or I can just, it shields me because I can use AI on my own advantage now.
Interesting. Okay, gentlemen, let's go to even meatier subjects. Mahirap pa gumawa ng political jingle. I'm blundering my Tagalog.
Yes and no. Yes and no, I would say. There's a challenge always to make it relevant and also to make it understandable enough and clear enough for the masses and for all the people, for the audience. So whether it's masses or not, sometimes we would be asked to copy, for example, a
Wow.
certain kind of. For example, now ang sikat apit
Yeah.
Di ba?
Oh my goodness.
Di ba? Kasi syempre sikat, sakay sila doon. Pero it's really up to us to say we can't really copy that. That's that's a copyrighted
And
song.
it's unethical.
It's unethical.
Yeah.
So if you want us to copy that, you
Yeah.
need to buy for the rights.
What if the client or or the candidate insists because it is popular? Will you refuse?
So ang tawag namin doon bale. So
Okay.
we do something that kind of is
Tweaking.
similar to that
Okay.
or
To
is as catchy as that, but we also make sure, because again, I'll go back to that, to integrity.
Yes.
So because we ourselves churn out original work, so we
Yes.
don't want to be copied without di ba?
Actually, may issue during the U.S. campaign. Some major stars in the United States criticize or even ask now current President Trump of ceasing and desisting to use their songs in his campaign.
Yeah.
And I don't know how successful they were in stopping that. Has that ever come up with your in the course of your careers here?
And for
Ochola?
me, like in 2013, a certain reporter interviewed me, regarding this matter. During that time, Gangnam Style yung sikat. So sabi ko dun sa interview niya, marami nagpapagawa, pero I always telling them to pay for the copyright niya. Hindi natin pwedeng gamitin yan. Not unless we tweak
Of
the
course.
music.
Of
Like
course.
100%. Katunog, pero hindi katulad ng nota. Kasi pag kinopya mo yan, copyright infringement na agad yan.
What's wrong with pay?
But
Gumagastos ka na
now,
naman, you might as well.
That's
there's a
right.
technology ngayon na pwede mo nang kopyahin yung a certain beat and something na melody niya na halos katunog pero ang layo pa rin dun sa original.
Which is what you were saying similarly a while ago.
That's what we try to do. Yes.
Yes, through AI, right? Yes, but that's interesting. But what are the key elements of a successful political jingle, Pocholo?
Para sa akin, messaging lang yan. Tsaka siguro yung beat. Minsan beat na nga lang Like may isang senator, di ba? Di mo naman naintindihan sinabi, tuwan-tuwa ka lang sa beat Yung
I
budots
hope
niya.
I don't have to vote for natuwa lang ako sa beat, di ba? But of course, it sways you because that means to say that you're very good at what you did because
Actually,
sway mo.
I did something like that na beat
Okay.
Pero yung tunog niya,
Maybe louder near your mic, perhaps?
wait. Sige, hanapin ko muna yung
Sure.
tunog.
What about you, Khalil?
Well, one thing is repetition, of course. So if there's a repetition of the candidate's name, and as I mentioned earlier, the airtime that's given to the jingle, but there's also that touch of a composer that composes an earworm. So meron ding composers
Educate me. What's an earworm?
earworm is the LSS, di ba? So
Last
it can
song
be
syndrome.
last song syndrome. Yeah. So there are composers who really are gifted when it comes to LSS. So there.
I hope this is why I don't listen to music in the morning because when I go to work here in the station, I don't want that playing in my head.
And I personally don't listen to music driving to work in the morning because it's my job.
Yeah, it's gonna get stuck to you.
So I'm a podcast
So
guy.
does that infringe on your day's work?
Well, sometimes it does, but well, we've been in the industry. I've been doing this long enough for me to actually try to compartmentalize already. So sometimes kasi I do something rock in the morning and then classical in the afternoon
Yes.
and then hip hop at night. So
Yes.
so there.
And Pocholo, do you have the
Yeah. I did this budot style. With the beat is there, yung parang beat ng budot. Kasi
I'm not gonna lie to you, it's making me want to dance.
So, ngayon kasi ang uso sa mga jingle, syempre, lagi ko ang sinasabi, ang election parang piyesta yan.
Mhm.
Ko yung mga dapat maging statesman, nagiging stageman.
Mhm.
So, ang naboboto lagi, yung mga nasa stage, hindi statesman.
Mhm. Mhm.
Nagiging stageman.
Correct.
So, sumasayaw, kahit anong
Do you feel
gagawin.
the same way?
Sadly.
Diba?
But sometimes, that's where political preferences come in.
I like how calm you dropped that bomb in our show, Pocholo. I had to look at you and say, oh my gosh, she actually said that.
Totoo
Which
naman.
makes for a good show. But okay, of course, there's always the balance, okay, of the human touch, like yourself.
Yeah.
You said you use your human element to improve and
Oo.
use AI to your advantage. What
Yes.
about in your company, in your line of work? What's the percentage between AI and the human element?
Oh, the AI is really a small percentage
Okay.
right now. Truth be told, for example, if we get projects outside of the political projects, for example, a usual commercial project or even a documentary project, and I need to score it. So I need a voice track, for example, and we have not recorded the voiceover yet, but I have the deadline tomorrow to score it. I'll use AI to generate the voice of the narrator, for example. I'll use AI to generate the narrator just for me to have a timing guide. So I'll produce the music, and then eventually tomorrow or the next day we'll employ a voiceover talent.
That's interesting
Like
because you're using technology for deadlines. Before AI was around, how long would it take you to compose a jingle or commercial or?
Well, it's still the same for me almost. It's really not dependent on AI. It's
So
really
it's day
dependent
before.
on yeah. It's really it's dependent also on the experience of the composer. Some composers take a long time. Some composers really do uh, uh, amazing jingles in about 3-4 hours.
Are you
So-
waiting for that inspiration moment?
No. I would say even I would quote many brilliant composers by saying this is 99% perspiration and 1% inspiration. So it's really we have to be
Really?
professional. I have to sit down and okay, this is the task that I have to do. I have to do a Budots jingle. So I
Dang, it
know
really stuck, huh? We're still talking about you.
yeah, for example,
Yeah.
yeah, so there.
What about for you, Pachola? Because you guys are artists, and
Yeah.
I'm thinking more
In
like
our company, Creative Voices, it's always 80-20. 80% human touch and 20% is technology.
you guys don't get writer's block or composer's block.
We won't have money to pay the bills.
But it does happen, does it not?
Yeah, it does happen, but you kind of do something about it.
Yeah, because especially if you don't,
For example, if I have that kind of block in the middle of the day, I'd stop, listen to Spotify, or try to derive something to get my juices flowing.
Do you, for example, do you have an archive of your work that you refer back to
Yeah.
to make sure you're not making the same material for clients?
Well, to me, the archive is in my brain. I would say that I would actually kind of know if I'm copying myself already. And maybe it's also that the thing with creativity also it's almost always original, and you're kind of conscious of
Which
about-
is
yeah.
which is a human factor.
It is.
I'm interested in this. Do you think that AI or technology can come up with original pieces?
Yeah. It can create something that you cannot imagine. Sometimes there's a limitation for human. It depends on his experience.
Yes.
Kasi like yung mga tunog na yan, kung hindi naman tayo exposed sa Africa, how can we create an African sound? For
True.
example.
True.
And,
Well,
and AI has unlimited data.
But let's go delve in that, because, for example, a political career in Africa is different from a political career in, let's say, Papua New Guinea,
Yeah.
right? Or the Philippines versus
Yes,
Peru,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So, but AI is culturally geographically culturally checked,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So, I'm talking about Filipino AI technology that's original.
Okay.
So, Do you think they can still make AI?
Yeah.
But
AI
AI, actually,
can-
I think AI is based on what it can research inside the internet.
It's more
right?
on the data that
It's
they have.
Doesn't
Data
that make you
input.
feel uneasy?
to a certain extent, yes, but I still believe in the human intelligence and the human touch. So we can actually understand our clients better.
Again, AI is a tool. It's a tool that it's like Iron Man. It's Jarvis for me. You know, Iron Man. You know, Tony Stark cannot become Iron Man without the iron suit, and also Jarvis. So he cannot do anything. But it's his talent and skills and intelligence that helps uh, the AI to do
Yes.
what he wants to do.
Correct. I'm posing a question to both you ethical gentlemen. How much would it take for you to accept a client, even if you don't like them, for a political campaign? But before you answer that, let's go take a short break at the forefront. We'll be right back.